happen.
Now McCannon had died.
There was no, he's not going to go backwards.
I know. Carmody barely tucked one in that right post last time. Good snap. This one right in the fairway. By the way, we got to take, before we get completely out of hand here, West Virginia gets their chance now to try to force a third overtime. We do want to thank the sports information directors and their staffs from both schools for the help this week. Shelley Poe from West Virginia, Kenny Klein and Rocco Gasparo from Louisville. We cannot do these broadcasts to get the access without everybody here. We thank them so very much for all their help.
They help. They can make our time go so fast by cutting us through a lot of things we'd have to do.
All right, now, Terry, West Virginia's had tremendous success on the ground. What do you do if you're Rich Rodriguez?
I don't stop right here now. You might fake it to Slayton and let the quarterback run.
Right.
Now, you've got two really gifted, explosive runners in that backfield. It's not just Slayton. It's Slayton and Pat White. You've got to go with Pat White or Slayton. They both can make big plays. So if you hand it to him or you fake it to him and go the opposite direction, you got both of those plays. Let's see if they hand it or fake it and go the opposite way.
Mountaineers have 251 on the ground and 48 carries, and they do the quarterback draw with White. Good stop that time, made by number 92, Montavious Stanley, before White could really get any momentum going. Only a couple of yards on the play. Now again, West Virginia must score and make the PAT to force a third overtime. Must be a touchdown.
Again, you want to either give it to Slayton or you want to get Pat White moving with that ball, either running it or throwing it on the move.
On the option, they go to Slayton.
The pitch.
Tries to turn the corner, needed a block. He's inside the 10, inside the 5, and inside the end zone.
Same play that they scored on that was called back with a holding in regulation. The pitch to the outside.
No flags this time.
Misdirection. There's the pitch. There's the speed. There's the great block. This time, no holding on the same option play. There's the touchdown.
Different blocker that time, too.
Different blocker.
Giallo now. Got to make this or they lose.
Those guys were made just to scare you, don't they?
Are you kidding? All right, from now on, we have to go for two. So we won't be worrying about any of those. The 23-yard run, a spectacular one by Slayton as he approaches 200 yards on the day. Third overtime at that. At one point, Louisville was ahead in this game 17-0 and 24-7, but a stirring comeback by the Mountaineers, forcing the overtime. Each team has put up a touchdown in the PAT in the first two overtimes. Now, West Virginia will get the ball again. This time, and for the remainder of this game, how many other overtimes we play, you must go for two. There you see Pat White. What a great job he's done directing this offense. Reggie Slayton has every touchdown in this game for West Virginia.
And the intention, obviously, is to get this thing not to go into 5 or 6 overtimes where exhaustion plays a part in injuries.
Crowd got kind of quiet there. Slayton gets about 3. This is the anticipation has finally gotten.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something. You could have heard a pin drop in here on first down as they were wondering what would happen.
Okoye on the stop. I was surprised. You're so used to the Morgantown faithful being so boisterous and excited, and it got like you could, Tiger Woods could have made a putt here without anybody getting mad.
Well, I mean, again, obviously, every play becomes critical now. In your third overtime, you have to go for 2.
Only got a couple on that one. White. Pass a little bit low. And for the first time that I can think of, Terry, in this overtime stretch, West Virginia faces a third down.
Yeah, third down. Again, what's got to do here, obviously, you'd like to, 3rd and 8, you'd like to get the first down. I think you saw right there, passing right now is not his career, his forte yet. Runs it well. He will become a better passer, but he just kind of doesn't have the touch right now. And now make sure you complete it or that you don't throw an interception.
What about the option here? It's worked before. The option was Slayton.
To this
White
side?
can run, yeah. Louisville walking up some defenders. Got 4 seconds to snap it. They'll throw it to Schmidt. Is he quick enough to get the first down? He did it.
Got it.
He's still going. Inside the 5. Touchdown saving tackle by Brandon Sharp. Schmidt, who hardly ever touches the ball around here, maybe a couple of carries. That's his second big play in overtime.
I mean, it's a tendency breaker. It's a tendency breaker. The one guy they're not going to cover. Watch this now. We're thinking option. We're thinking tailback. Owen Schmidt, Division III tailback now.
Oh, good
starting
block.
fullback. Watch the power again. Owen Schmidt gets them inside the 5 in position to score.
How about Travis Garrett, number 70, 6'6", 305, the senior, with a huge block on that play. Now they've got room for Slayton. And, well, he gets it close.
I'm going to tell you, those linemen kept chopping their feet, and they went with the back. The back kind of hit the wall about the 3, but the linemen kept moving the pile, They've got it now to about the 1-yard line on second down.
Boy, the offenses for both these teams now looks like a scrimmage. The way they're just ripping through the lines of these exhausted defenses. Louisville trying to get some fresh bodies in there. They barely get them on in time. Second and goal. It's amazing this has all been done with no turnovers. How smoothly these teams have played this rather dramatic stretch. Slayton.
There's the toss sweep.
Yeah, did he get it? Yeah,
It's
he
a
did.
touchdown.
All right. They've got to go for 2 here. That is 6 touchdowns in this game for Slayton.
It's amazing. I mean, it's amazing. Again, here's the toss sweep. Always my favorite play on the goal line. Looking for a hole, no particular place that you have to cut it up. You're looking for the first crack. Every lineman just lock on. And those hog mollies, those big offensive linemen did it again. A lot of credit to that offensive line now as they must go for 2. Rick Trickett, offensive line coach, coached for me for 6 years at Auburn. You talk about a hard worker. There were many nights I had to get security out there to get him off the field, out there driving sled under the lights, 9 o'clock at night, having to drive those players. You either quit or you become a great player. I know I had 5 first-team All-American, 5 first-round draft picks at Auburn in the 5 years that I was there that he coached while he was at Auburn with me.
Well, these teams have not played since 1993, October the 9th. Louisville down by 5 in the 4th quarter. Quarterback Jeff Brom connects with Kevin Cook. This 32-yarder put the Cardinals ahead by 34-33. They go for 2. They don't make it. That leads to a Todd Sauerbrunn field goal, 36 yards out. The Mountaineers take a 36-34 lead. So here's Brom, final drive of the game, trying to wrap it up. Can't do it. West Virginia intercepts. These teams have played wild games before. Here's Don Nealon. We talked to him earlier in the night. West Virginia wins it 36-34. So there's a history here of very close games. Now, West Virginia required to go for the deuce right here.
Here's the bunch formation to the left now. Going to roll out to the bunch.
Got it.
Open for 2.
Gillot. All right. Leonis back to Louisville. Your serve.
And there's no tendencies for that play with West Virginia, I'm sure. I don't think they had scored a single touchdown in the second half in the last 3 games. What's their favorite 2-point play? I don't know. I've never seen it yet. Here it is. Watch the bunch formation. Pat White is such a threat running the ball. They have to protect him. There's the wide open receiver. Touchdown, 2-point play.
Giallo gets in the end zone for West Virginia.
There's a nice job, and I can't think back to that throw he had rolling out to his left earlier where he couldn't make it. He came back and made, look at Rich Rodriguez. Never gave up. He told these kids, don't you ever give up. Rich Rodriguez, you know, before the game, he was talking to his players on Friday, getting emotional. He teared up. He got those kids excited. Hadn't seen him cry very often. Now comes Louisville.
All right, now they've got to score and go for 2, or they're done. Flare pass. Anytime you get it in Bush's hands, it can't be a bad thing. Look at the footwork. And he gets 6 out of what could have been maybe 1 or 2. Henry on the stop.
It's hard for one guy to bring him down in the open field. And so again, just watch the footwork here. Watch as he stays on his feet. He's a big body. Watch the slide, the shuffle step, the back and forth. There it is. That's that quick feet that don't come very far off the ground. That's the kind of back I've always liked. Steve Davis at Auburn, now with the Carolina, had close to the ground feet, big heavy back. Hard to bring those guys down.
They got 14 seconds to get the play off. Second down and 4 for the Cardinals.
Here comes some pressure.
Well, he handled that really well. First down, and inside the 5 is Tinch. He's had a spectacular day. That is his 13th catch.
It was so good that West Virginia got their 2-point. When you think about 2-point plays, it would seem to be in Louisville's favor there because they have so many control passes in their offense.
16-yard gain, you're absolutely right. You have to give them an edge, but they've got to do it. Hey, they've got to get the first thing to 6. They're at the 3, first down.
That's right. First thing they got to do is get in that end zone without turning that ball over. Anything right here would be a disaster.
They go to Bush, and he is stiffed. Maybe a yard if they feel generous. Maybe a half a yard. Second down and goal coming up. Bobby Petrino, he realizes a loss here puts his team next to the basement. Only Syracuse with the worst record in the Big East. In overtime, career-wise, Louisville 3-2. West Virginia 2-1, 3-3 for Louisville. West Virginia 2-1. No gain there. Second and goal from the 3. Defenses have got to be exhausted. Offenses have all the momentum right now for both teams. Barnage, the tight end, goes in the motion. Bush.
Got outside, not going to happen.
That was easy. You could see that, Terry, from here. As soon as he got to that edge, they weren't going to stop him, and he runs through arms tackles very easily. 3-yard gain. Now Louisville must get the 2 to keep this game going. Yeah, West Virginia was overloaded. The defensive line was overloaded. Watch West Virginia. They're overloaded to the far side up here. The ball runs away. There's the quip gap and the bounce outside. West Virginia guessed and guessed wrong, overloaded the defensive line to the strong side. All right, where do you go here if you're Louisville? I'd make sure I'm throwing. I'd spread it out. He's got plenty of weapons, though. He's got plenty of weapons. He's going to have 2 receivers, 3 receivers to his right and 2 to his left. This to tie or West Virginia wins it. Brown. Game over. Mountaineers have won it. That is a comeback they will talk about in this city and this state for years. I'm not sure they've had a greater victory at home, any more exciting, any more unbelievable. Down 24-7, not doing anything right, come back to win in 3 overtime. Dave, great to be a part of that victory for West Virginia. That is a breathtaking game you watched, and the other side of it right there. Thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. We've heard that before on ABC. And we saw it right here tonight in Morgantown, West Virginia. People, if you ever thought about quitting, understanding the part of never, never, never quit. Never give up. There's always hope. Coaches talk it. Coaches preach it. Rich Rodriguez right there. He preached it. His kids believed it. They came back and won the game. These teams have combined for the most points ever scored in Mountaineer Field history. 90 of them. Absolutely spectacular. There is Rich Rodriguez. He called those plays in that 4th quarter and in the overtime and led to the Mountaineer victory. You know, I think back to that 4th down play. We had 4th and inches, and he threw the option outside on 4th and inches to get the score that tied it up. Final score here, 46-44. He still can't believe it. He had to look back at the scoreboard to see if it was real. The final score, West Virginia 46 and Louisville 44. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Search ABC Sports. Don't forget, it's the St. Louis Rams visiting the Indianapolis Colts on ABC's Monday Night Football at 9. Once again, our final score, 46-44, West Virginia over Louisville. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports Championship Television.